Playing the victim in your life is not only not fun, but it's not necessary. Today, I'm going to give you 11 transformative practices to help you step into the role of becoming empowered. Let's go get that nugget. Welcome, ladies, to the Life Mastery for Women podcast. I'm Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind, your host. This is where we go to learn to master our life one nugget at a time. Hey, ladies, it's Jen Mack, Lady of the Mind. Welcome to today's episode where I hope I am finding you completely empowering yourself. If you're not empowering yourself, then it is my intention that in today's episode, I give you just one nugget, or actually maybe 11 nuggets towards your transformation. Now, we're going to talk about empowering ourselves because, listen, I grew up with victims. I became a victim in my own right, just like because of my circumstances, my environment, my finances, my relationships, my parents, my everything. And it doesn't bode well in the life that you want to lead. It doesn't really allow you to create. It forces you to kink the hose. So life force energy cannot move through you. And therefore, your garden on the other end of the hose is just looking terrible. And that becomes your life. So in today's episode, I want to help you to become empowered, but learn to empower yourself. And I'm going to give you 11 transformative practices that I use every day in my life. Might not use all 11 of them, but I definitely use them, and it puts me in the driver's seat of my life. And I get to sit back and go, I'm designing this. I'm creating this. And every challenge that shows up in my life is an opportunity to learn something new and to elevate my own skills. So then every day I become better and better. You've heard the quote, every day is a day for learning, or you can learn something every day. You totally can if you allow yourself to. If you don't become a victim to your circumstances or your environment or any of the people in your life, if you understand that these are just challenges for you to overcome, this is an opportunity to grow and to learn. So let's dive in. Today, you're going to need your journal. So if you need to pause, please go do that. You're going to want to write these down. These will absolutely, I guarantee you, transform your life. But before we get started, I want to call back your energy and get it back into the heart so we can begin to create the life that we want. When we have our energy in our heart space and we have it contained within us, all in one big bucket, all of our energy, we now have the energy to create. We have the energy to wake up and to be present in the moment, which is where creation happens. And let's go do that. So if you will just sit, and even if you're standing, it's okay, but sitting or standing and just pulling your energy back, getting into the body, bringing your energy, feeling your butt in the seat, your feet on the floor, or your feet on the floor if you're standing, and then just breathe in all the way to the top. Hold your breath there for just a second, just to get present, and then breathe out and just relax, allowing the day to just wash off of you. Just allow your mind to come back into your body and closing those mental tabs of all of the problems, the worries, the doubts, everything where your energy is out there away from you. And bringing it back to your body and feeling your heart. And if you need to, you can put your hand on your heart and just feel into that space. Now, empowering yourself. One of the most transformative things I've ever done in my life, because I played the victim role, and for years and years, everything was someone else's fault. And if I wasn't blaming someone, I was blaming circumstances. And if I wasn't blaming circumstances, I was blaming God or the universe, or life was against me. That is no way to live. And if you are listening to this, I really want you to take these 11 transformative practices, and I want you to take them with a grain of salt. I want you to put them in front of you and begin to open yourself up to the possibility that we are not victims in our life. We choose to play that role, but you don't have to identify with it to the point where you can start to step into your woman warrior or for even some of the guys that are listening to me, stepping into this warrior persona, or this embodying the warrior energy. And that doesn't mean going out and pulling in all this power. It just means that you're taking responsibility for your life. You're at the center of your universe, and it is up to you to create the experience that you want to experience. So if something is not going right for you, look at it as a challenge and figure out, what can you do to make it go right? What are some of the things that you have an opportunity in front of you to learn and skills to upgrade that is going to allow you to move up and elevate in your life and start creating what you want to live? So the very first one is taking care of the physical being, taking care of the physical body that you're in. And in those four areas is emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. So if you're taking notes, then the first category, there's four practices within this category, but is taking care of your health. So taking care of your physical being. And then the subcategories are emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And now what do I have for emotionally? This is the first one, and this is the very first thing that I tell my clients that I work with and anybody else who will listen, is your life path, your journey begins with self-love. It begins with you loving yourself enough to begin a practice that empowers you, that makes you feel good. Loving yourself enough to go after your dreams. Loving yourself enough to pick the people you want to spend time with. Loving yourself enough to love yourself. And I don't mean in a selfish way, just in a loving way. And so the first one, taking care of yourself emotionally, is self-love. I have lots of episodes about self-love. It is one of my biggest, I want to say, cruxes for me to help my clients work through is being okay with self-love, because our culture does not teach women to do that. And men, it doesn't teach you guys to do that. You have to give and go out there and take care of everyone else, take care of your family, take care of your wife, your kids, your job, the money, you go do that. That's still very big in our culture today. And women, you're selfish. If you're not taking care of the kids and the husband and keeping the house and making the food and, all of that, then you're selfish. Don't be selfish, right? We hear that all the time. You have to put the needs of your kids and your husband first. And I say you have to love yourself first so you have the energy to love others. You can't love from an empty bucket, but so many people try. So the very first one is self-love, beginning the practice today. And I'll tell you, number 1 is going to feed the next 10. Having, again, the self-love, the loving yourself enough to begin to put in a practice in place that's going to transform your life. The second one under mentally taking care of yourself is through your self-talk. And just this last episode, I believe 413, is all about self-talk. And I use that one a lot because it's so amazing to be able to change the words that you say, to give yourself the freedom, but you're really empowering yourself in this space of, how do I talk to myself? What do I say? And when you can begin to shift your words to a more powerful state and a more empowering words and language, you got it. Like, you are well on your way. Now that's number 2. Number 3 is your physical being. And I'm going to say, start exercising, start moving your body. There is nothing more defeating than you not being able to physically enjoy life. You're not able to go for a walk. You're not able to move around, play a sport, things that you used to do. I know that when my back was hurting and I'm my back is seized up and I'm on my back for 10 days straight, that I feel like my life is over. And I'm a very active person, and whether you're active or not is irrelevant. But I know that being able to move your body and explore the world around you in this physical sense gives so much to the spirit. The hormones, moving your body, taking care of your body, feeling good in the house that you own. This is your house, right? This physical being is your house. It houses your spirit. Let's take care of it. And we're going to do that by exercise. And I'm saying, if you like working out, you like going to the gym and pumping iron, well, go ahead and do that. If you don't, then don't do that. If you like to kayak or walk the dogs or climb trees or hike or swim or play golf or play pickleball. Whatever it is, find it and begin to do it. Begin to move your body. Spiritually, this is number 4 in this category of taking care of yourself and health. Spiritually, meditate. I say it in every single podcast. I have over 400 podcast episodes. I say it every single time. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Figure it out. Figure out a practice. Begin the practice and practice the practice. I just said it in yesterday's podcast that every time I mention meditate, I hear a bunch of groans from the audience. And they know, that's the thing, is they know that is what's going to change them. I begin a lot of my talks when I talk about meditation, and I say, how many of you have problems in here? And everybody raises their hand. I said, how many of you have been working on that problem for 1,000 years? And everybody raises their hand. And I say, and how many of you know that meditation is going to help you solve that problem? And everybody raises their hand. And then I say, why don't you have a practice? And then they give me all of the obstacles. I don't have enough time. I fall asleep. I can't focus. I can't sit still. Those are the 4 main ones. And I go, you have to keep going. You have to keep practicing. 5 minutes, 5 times a day, 5 days in a row, and your life is going to be different. You're going to feel amazing and feel emotionally different and more empowered. Please practice some meditation. Practice meditation. Okay, so that's the 4 in that category of taking care of your health. And the subcategories were emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. And under emotional was self-love. That was number 1. Number 2, mentally is self-talk, how you talk to yourself. Physically was exercise. Somehow start moving your body every day. And spiritually was meditate. Okay? Already so powerful. These are so powerful right here. The next one is taking care of your environment. I have met a couple of women that I've had a couple of calls with over the past couple of years, and clients, and they're in terrible environments. They are in environments where people are not nice to them. It could be their family, could be roommates, could be their spouse, could be even be their kids. And the environment is not conducive. It is not positive. It is not growth oriented. It's not spiritual. It is negative. Well, you are basically in that negative space. It is eating away at you, and it is not conducive to your growing. So in this one, there's kind of part 1 and part 2 within, but I'm going to call it number 5. So caring for your environment. And the first one is, if you are in a negative environment where you are just not supported, you might not even be liked, you don't get along with whoever you're living with, what they're doing goes against everything about you, your environment is not safe. Number freaking 1. Well, it's number 5 of the 11, but number 1 in this one is get the flip out. Get out of that environment. And you're like, okay, wait, Jen, let me get this straight. I can't move out. And right after that, I hear, I don't make enough money. And I go, what is your health worth to you? What is your spiritual growth worth to you? What is your life worth to you? And then I go, can you change this environment? Most of the time they say no. And I go, okay, if you literally, physically, financially, absolutely cannot move out, and that moving out will put you on the street, then create a space in this place that allows you to have that kind of spiritual freedom where you can get away from whoever those people are, save your freaking money, and then get out. If this is an unsafe, completely negative, you need to detach from these people. You are starting to feel physically ill, emotionally sick by being around them. The first is, if you can get out, get out. And if you can't, then create an environment that you can go to. Your room becomes your sanctuary. Now, this is the part A to this. It's all kind of number 5. So 5 has 5A and 5B. 5A is create that environment that is your space. So if you have to move out, right? 5B is declutter your space. So we're doing a little feng shui here. Declutter your space. Get rid of stuff that you no longer need or use or want. Throw it away, donate it, move it out, do something else with it. Okay. And then once you do that, bring in stuff. Not stuff, but bring in some things that beautify your space. So you could make this 5C if you wanted, but declutter, get rid of things, and then beautify your space. It does an amazing, amazing cleanse on the energy system. It is absolutely amazing. We had a yard sale this summer. And though it's a lot of work, I do love it. I love having yard sales. I think it's a lot of fun. And but the house feels amazing. We loaded the front yard with stuff, and we like emptied corners and bookshelves and all kinds of old toys and clothes and whatever. And the house, when we came back in after that yard sale, the house felt amazing. The house felt amazing. And I love that. And I think that it's important to do that as often as possible, because we are a consumering, if that's a word, a high consumer materialistic culture now in society. We buy things all the time. And I'm guilty of that. I go out and buy things, but I try to get rid of things too, because I love the way it feels when you kind of clean that out. So that is part of caring for your environment, 5A, B, and C. And A is creating and getting into a very positive, loving, supportive environment. Okay. B is decluttering your environment, and C is beautifying your environment. Okay. The next one is people. This is number 6. The next one in the category is people. Who do you hang out with? Who do you associate with? Where are you spending your time? Who are you spending your time with? And then try to, if those people are lower level people, now just let me say this in this kind of a frank way. I don't want to insult anybody, but if they're lower level people, and they could be your friends, your family, your spouse, your kids, and it's like, okay, now I'm ready to change, but my family's not going with me, and everyone's kind of still treating me like I'm 14, and they're just not really there. I'm saying things like, I want to meditate, and they're saying things that how stupid that is. And what are you, Buddhist now? If they're not supportive, then my thought is, can you find a new community? Surrounding yourself with amazing people. This is number 6. Surround yourself with amazing people who get you. People who are on a spiritual journey, people who use the word meditate in a good way, people who say things like, I think that's a limiting belief, and help you uncover that. And if you can't find a community, join one of mine, because I have lots of people that are coming together that are starting to support each other. And when you have that support, sister, brother, if you're listening, that support allows you to grow exponentially. Exponentially. You don't have to live this life alone. You don't. I'm serious. And I did. For 25 years, I had relationships that were terrible, that were not supportive. They would make fun of me. I felt like I was going crazy. I was just like in this terrible space. And I wish I had this podcast to listen to. I wish I had this community to belong to, because it got very, very lonely in that space, because my partner at that time, years ago, was not supportive. Was not on the same spiritual journey. We couldn't talk about this stuff. And when I did, they would make fun of me. I mean, this is supposed to be my person, right? This is supposed to be my support system. And they would make fun of me, or they would ignore me, or they would just turn the TV up. And it was really hard. It was really hard because I didn't have that community. So I'm offering that community. I am on a mission to help women, generally to help women. But there's some brothers out there that are listening to this podcast, and I'm talking to you. You don't have to do this alone. That I got you. You can join my community. You can be supported in this environment. So that is your people. These are the categories. So in the people category, number 6, surrounding yourself with amazing people. Go find those people. Go take a yoga class. Go to a meditation class. Learn some language. Meet some people that are locally, or consider joining my community. I have a couple of Facebook communities. And one is called Lady Rising. It's a Facebook group. And then I have the other one that's Chakras for Beginners, also on Facebook. But if you want something a little bit deeper, I have a group coaching program. And I have lots of different programs that pop up throughout the year that you can get involved in, where I can really support you pretty much one-on-one and create a custom space. And I can really support you in that space. So something to consider. The next is your community. The next category is your community. So empowering yourself by creating some give back is sharing. Now, this could be number 7, A, B, and C, but giving back to your community. So your time, your money, your energy is whatever works for you. Volunteering at places, go to some of these senior centers, or some of the, ours is called like a Goodwill Inn, where it's kind of there's sort of homeless shelters, or homeless, low income housing, or like our women's resource center, or a Goodwill program, or Salvation Army, or something like that, where you could work or volunteer, or give your time, give your money, or give your energy, help people with things, and giving back that allows us to really to really incorporate yin and yang energy, the giving and receiving. And when we give our time and our money and our energy, we get something back. We get this unconditional love back into our energy system, and it feels amazing. It feels absolutely amazing. So I would encourage you to somehow get involved in your community, and it could be your school system, your church, the hospital, any other programs that are helping different groups of people, or even animals. You want to go to an animal shelter, any place that feels like you would be connected, that it feels that this is something you would love to do, learn about or give back somehow. I always recommend that it's important to, as we grow, is to kind of share ourselves with other people. So that is in the community, number 7, giving back our time, our money, and our energy. The next is our finances. Once we can start to control and manage our finances, it really puts us in this empowerment seat. Because so many times, I grew up poor, we were on food stamps, and this was old food stamps. We didn't have the cool EBT card. We had literally a coupon book that was like fake money. Like, I'm going to the store to buy some stuff while mom's sitting in the car with my brother who's throwing a tantrum. And I'm going to go in the store and I'm going to buy powdered milk and cereal and bread and peanut butter and jelly. And then I'm going up to the cash register. I'm embarrassed as hell. I'm going up to the cash register with this coupon book that I'm like using Monopoly money to buy groceries. Now, part of me is I'm thankful for that, because that was a really tough experience for me. And it was hard. I had to deal with a lot of heckling, a lot of teasing, a lot of bullying because of that. I didn't have clothes that fit me all the time. My mom did the very best she could, but it also created some compassion for myself, that I'm going to pull myself out of that. I'm not going to stay in this victimhood mentality and in this space of, I just can't afford it. I'm going to afford anything and everything to be the very best version of me. And that came with managing my money. Is it a skill that I can learn? Now, I will tell you, Amy is much better at managing our money than I am, but I can still do it. I can manage the spending. I can manage how much money comes in. I can go and level up my skill. And as an entrepreneur, I can make money. I have no ceiling on what kind of money I can make. And I think everybody should, especially this day and age, everybody should go out and have some sort of, I want to say like a side hustle, but to me, hustle is too much energy exertion, it's too much yang energy, but it's like a side something, some creative something that you are interested in that allows you to be more a version of you, and you can make money doing it alongside of your job. Find something that you love to do. And that leads me right into number 9, which is your career. Let me just drop back. So I'll go on to number 9 in a second, but let me just drop back to finances, managing your money. So that is saving your money, build a savings account, then invest your money. There's so many different opportunities to invest your money and make other monies, whether you buy things, off inexpensive places and sell them on eBay or Etsy or Amazon. There's all kinds. And of course, I'm not going to get into a bunch of, ways to invest your money. That's up to you and your family or your financial advisor or whatever. But there's so many different ways to invest. Of course, stocks and bonds and CDs and real estate and all of that. It just depends on where you are. But don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself thinking, well, Jen, I hardly have, 2 nickels to rub together. And I go, okay, could you save $20 a month? Could you save $20 a month? And you could find $20 a month. And then could you buy a few products and then double those sales? Now you've made $60. Now take that $60, buy some more products, cheap, inexpensive products, and resell them on the marketplace, on eBay, right? And now you have $120, and then you turn around, now you have $240, and then pretty soon by the end of the year, you have $1,000. That's what I'm talking about. Putting yourself in the empowerment seat. And then the last one is sharing that money. This is part of your community, giving back, giving to your church, giving to different organizations that would take a donation. Okay? So that's managing your finances, saving, investing, and sharing. Careers. So managing your finances. Number 9 is finding what you love to do. Finding what you love to do. I say this all the time, from stage when I talk about my careers and choices, that I've had 37 jobs. And what that told me is that it was 37 things I don't want to do and 37 people I don't want to work for. But it led me, all of those skills I use all the time from all 37 of those jobs and all of those circumstances and the way that those bosses and managers treated me, whether good or bad, those are things that I have in my repertoire now. Those are things that I have in my toolkit that I use as I grow my business. how I talk to people and how I engage with people. And if I'm going to hire a staff, how do I encourage my staff? Right? Amy and I have business meetings of software programs we're going to use. And the way that I treat that business meeting is if we are coworkers, or as if she's my boss because I'm bringing something to her and she works out the budget. And I go, what do you think about this website? Or what do you think about this software program, and using it for whatever, our clients to book calls or our website or whatever, that I have to present that to her. And it's the same if I'm going to buy products for our store. Right? And so when it comes to those things, I have to make sure that I love what I'm doing. I think it is so important that whatever it is that you're doing to make money or make your mark on the world is love what you're doing. And I think that's really important. If you hate your job, that is physically and emotionally draining you. That is not a life. That is not a life. You can hate your job for a short period of time while you find something better. And keep looking. Number 10 is, this is about growth, but within your job in that category is be the best at it. Whatever it is you're doing, be the best. So when I first started my podcast, I'm like, okay, we gotta find our voice so people can find us, and then, make our mark on the world, right? And I want to teach the very best topics. My coach is like, dude, why are you teaching some of these things? It's like, that's what you teach in your programs. That's what you charge people for. And I go, because people need to know. People need to know this stuff. They need to know that someone out there has their back, because I've listened to podcast after podcast, hundreds and hundreds of them. And I get to the end of the podcast, I'm like, what did you even teach me? Like, you just kind of gave me this glossy sort of topographical viewpoint, but I didn't need to hear that. So either entertain me and make me laugh, or give me something that I can use. Give me something that I can use to change my life. Because what I don't want to do is be that person that gets so far above myself that I forget people down here that don't have money. They might not have however much money to join a program. But man, Jen, if you could give me one nugget that I can start working on to change my life, that'd be great. Well, that's my promise to you. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to ever forget where I came from, because that's what made me so resourceful, that I have to go out and find this education myself. Well, here, hopefully, all you have to do is come to this podcast. The last one, so that was 9 and 10 under the career category. The very last one, and my absolute favorite, is personal development. And this one is number 11. Always keep growing. Keep going. Keep growing, keep learning. Every single challenge is an opportunity to learn. Every single challenge is an opportunity to grow and to level up. Think of our lives as a video game. You come to level 12, moving from 12 to 13, you have to learn a whole new skill set. And then you could beat the boss in level 13 and then 14 and keep going. But in the meantime, this is where it goes. And I say something like, keep going and growing and looking for those nuggets life has to offer. And keep going, that I want to give you a nugget of inspiration towards your transformation, embodying a new version of you, right? That's where we're going. People are so afraid of that word. And I'm like, wait. The caterpillar has to transform into the butterfly. Our whole entire life is designed around transformation. There's that spiritual being inside of you that is seeking that elevation. And if we don't go, then we're kinking the hose and we're creating that pressure. And that pressure in our body is what stops the flow of energy, and it kinks the hose. It stops our life from being as vibrant and as absolutely beautiful as it can. Okay, I'm going to give you all 11 in the quick. So each category, the first one is how to empower yourself, 11 transformative practices. The first area is your health. Taking care of your health. 4 sub areas is your emotional health through self-love. The next one is your mental health through self-talk. The third one is your physical health through exercise in some way. Move your body. I don't care what it is, whatever activity. The fourth one is your spiritual health, and that is a meditation practice. Number 5, and this is A, B, and C. This is in the category of taking care of your environment. This is creating and getting into a safe, loving, supportive environment. And if you're not in that environment, get the flip out, right? Get a new spot. And if you can't get literally a whole new spot, then create a spot in your house that becomes your own private sanctuary. That's A. B is declutter. Declutter your space. And C is beautify your space. Okay? The third category is your people, the people around you. This is number 6. Surround yourself with amazing people who support you and love you. Join a community. I don't care who it is or where it is, online or not. It's like, join a community. You want to join my community? Please do. Please join my community. The fourth category is your community. And this is basically 7, A, B, and C. It's all giving back. And A, B, and C could be time, money, and energy. Your finances is the 5th category, is taking care of your finances, becoming empowered, make your money work for you instead of your money working, instead of you working for your money. And this could be 8, A, B, and C, save, invest, and share. So that's also giving back. The 6th category is careers. This is finding what you love, find what you love to do. And that's number 9. Number 10 is being the best you can at that job. Be the very, very best. Keep going, keep growing, keep being better, keep going. Okay. And the very last category, the 7th category, and number 11 is personal development. And this is continue learning and continue chasing after those nuggets. I hoped this podcast really gave you something to bite into. I really hope that you take any one of these 11 transformative practices and start implementing them right now. If you need some help, please reach out to me. Let's hop on a free discovery call and see how I can best support you. I can't wait to talk to you. Wow, that may have felt like a lot of information in today's episode, but if you're looking for support and a deeper knowledge of what we talked about today, then let's connect. You can learn more about how I work and how you can work with me. Send me an email to the meditationroomtc@gmail.com, subject line, let's talk. And in the meantime, you can join my online Facebook community, Lady Rising, and mention that you came in through the podcast. I look forward to supporting you and connecting with you there.